I was standing in a grocery store checkout line when my card declined. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The cashier stared at me. The people behind me sighed. My face burned. And what I didn't know yet was that my bank had locked every dollar I owned. Not because I did something wrong, but because they did. Before we go any further, let me ask you something. Have you ever been completely powerless? Trapped in a system where no one listens, no one cares, and the people holding all the control treat you like you're disposable? If that sounds familiar, hit like, subscribe, and stay until the end, because this story isn't just about money. It's about what happens when a small institution forgets that the internet never forgets. I never liked big banks. Too corporate, too cold, too many horror stories. So when I moved and needed a place to park some savings, I did what a lot of people do. I chose a small local credit union. They sold the image well. Posters about community. Smiling employees who called you by your first name. The unspoken promise that they were different. For a while, I believed it. Until the ATM incident. It happened on an ordinary morning. I needed cash. Nothing dramatic. I slid my card in. Entered my PIN. Waited. Declined. I frowned. Tried again. Same message. That subtle panic crept in. Not full fear yet. Just confusion. I knew the money was there. So I walked inside. The branch smelled like old carpet and cheap coffee. A clerk behind the counter barely looked up when I explained the problem. She typed, paused, squinted at her screen. That single sound did more damage than words. She told me the ATM system was having trouble and handed me a small slip of paper with a withdrawal code. It'll deduct directly from your account, she said. Totally normal. And it worked. I left relieved, already forgetting about it. That was my mistake. Because a few days later, everything stopped working. My card declined everywhere. Gas station, online purchases, even a coffee. When I opened my banking app, my heart dropped into my stomach. Account under review. No warning. No email. No explanation. Just locked. I called support immediately. After being bounced between menus and hold music, a woman finally answered. She sounded bored, like I was interrupting her lunch. She told me there had been an accounting discrepancy. Apparently, their system delayed deducting the withdrawal code amount. It wasn't overdraft. It wasn't fraud. It wasn't suspicious activity. It was their error. And for that reason, they froze my funds. All of them. I asked how long it would take. She sighed. Reviews take time. That's it. No apology. No urgency. Days passed. Then a week. My rent deadline crept closer. Bills stacked up like silent threats. I called again. Different agent. Same tone. This one sounded annoyed, like I was the problem. You'll just have to wait. Another week. Still nothing. By week 3, the calls changed. The politeness vanished completely. One rep mispronounced my last name, paused, and said, "Yeah, sometimes accounts with foreign names take longer." He laughed, just a little. My hands shook after that call. I stared at the wall, jaw clenched so hard my teeth hurt. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about disrespect. They had my livelihood locked away. And they knew I couldn't do anything about it. Or so they thought. After more than a month of this, I finally broke. I called my family back home, not to fix anything, just to vent, to feel human again. That's when my younger cousin leaned in, eyes sharp. He said, "Why don't you let people see what they're doing?" I laughed, bitterly. He wasn't joking. He told me about a service. A strange little corner of the internet. You paid a few rubles, pennies, and real people would post whatever message you wanted on social media. Reviews, comments, complaints, anonymous, untraceable. He said, big companies ignore individuals. They don't ignore noise. That night, I sat alone at my desk. I hesitated. This wasn't hacking. This wasn't lying. It was truth amplified. I spent exactly $3. I wrote prompts carefully. No threats. No insults. Just facts. Funds locked for over a month due to bank error. Support rude and dismissive. Credit union refusing access to own money. The site even let me choose profile styles. American names. Different cities. Neutral photos. I clicked submit. Then I waited. The next morning, my phone exploded. Notifications. Emails. Missed calls. I opened Facebook. Their page was chaos. Hundreds of comments. All public. All visible. Instagram? Same. Twitter? Worse. People asking questions. Tagging regulators. Sharing screenshots. By noon, comments were locked. By afternoon, posts were disappearing. At 4:17 p.m., my phone rang. A calm, professional voice introduced himself as a call center manager. His tone was completely different. He said they fully understood my frustration. Funny, no one had before. He said the review was being expedited. Then came the real offer. They would release all my funds immediately. If I wanted to close the account, they would transfer everything to another bank, plus $50 compensation. I didn't argue. I didn't negotiate. I let silence do the work. Before hanging up, he said something telling. We'd really like to end this on a positive note. Translation? Please make it stop. By evening, the money was in my new account. Every dollar. I sat there staring at the screen. Balance restored. Just like that. After weeks of begging. After humiliation. After being treated like I didn't matter. The moment the public saw it, everything changed. No anger. No yelling. Just pressure. I checked their social media later. Comments disabled. Posts buried. Reputation scarred. Those complaints are still there. And there's nothing I can do to remove them. Not that I want to. $3. That's all it took. Power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, calculated, patient. Institutions rely on silence, on people feeling too small to push back. But the internet doesn't care about size. It only cares about visibility. And once something is seen, it can't be unseen. If this story hit you in the chest, hit like. If you believe karma sometimes needs help, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Because stories like this remind us of one thing. Never underestimate someone who has nothing left to lose, and the internet on their side. And with that, our story comes to an end, but the real story begins with your thoughts. What would you do if you were in this situation? Let me know in the comments.